Yeah.
Not on my watch.
You're done.
You're done. Like, I'm like, and they literally one time.
Yeah.
I'm not giving no, like Corey say, the slide is closed. I'm not done letting shit slide. We're not doing that.
So have you learned when to start raising your white flag then? To say like, we dropping all the toxic.
Flag on the play. Because you fumble. And we're done. Get them out of here.
Have I been having my mask on for so long that I can't even tell the difference between whether it's your red flag that's giving us a problem or it's my red flag, period. Because
you don't need a therapist. You need the You're Done podcast. Welcome back to the You're Done podcast.
Get it.
To the You're Done podcast.
It's not.
Welcome back to the You're Done podcast, where we cover topics about evolving and growing into your true, authentic self.
Amen. Because that's what we all about.
What are you done with? It's your host, Big Desto. Dang, I was going to say Big Desto, nevertheless.
Not her, but that's because she was too much into that tune.
Big Desto, not the little one, and
Be More, nevertheless, and not her trying to be both of us.
I know. Look,
trying to take both names. Okay, homegirl done got married. She don't know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad.
Destiny Holmes, actually. Like that.
Let them know. That's the tea.
But yes, we are back with another episode of the You're Done podcast, and today
we got a good one.
We have a good topic. I mean, we are always good.
Yeah, the conversations are always on point.
Yeah, but today's topic is kind of like, I feel like something that I've struggled with myself.
Yeah. And
I feel like a lot of people can relate. I don't feel like it's something that, maybe it is something that people speak about often, but not like publicly.
Yeah.
That I know of. I don't know.
And that is toxic positivity, people.
And you're like, what? That is what is like a two words that contradict each other?
Yeah.
What's that
because
called?
how you gonna be a contradiction?
Oh. I thought it was something else.
You're contradicting yourself. But this came up, I mean, we always say this, and I know y'all probably gonna be like, dang, they going into season 2 still saying we always say this, but we do.
And we're gonna keep saying it.
All right? But we're always just having conversations, whether that's just my sister and I or with people, and this one was something that when we were thinking about, dang, when we go into season 2, you know, what we want to talk about, what we going through. And for me, I feel like it's something that I do all the time, especially because I'm not one to be into my emotions. So but I'm also a very, very, very positive person.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm constantly trying to look at the glass half full. So when the red flags pop up, whether it's in a person, in a job, or a situation, then I'm always like,
or even within yourself.
yeah. And it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
It is. It's bad.
And then I'm like,
you let it go.
Yeah. Then you're like in the closet crying. Like, girl.
Because it's like when you do stuff like that, when you're avoiding the red flags or trying to be so positive, and then I'm not saying, obviously we're not saying go out and be negative.
Yeah.
Obviously be positive. But when it's something that is like not pouring into you positively, it's like, how can you, like, okay, at that point you're forcing it. And it's like you could have avoided so many different emotions of, oh, that hurt my feelings, that made me sad, that, you know, whatever, if you had just looked at it for what it was and accepted it for just that.
Yeah.
Because I know I've done that.
And most of the time, for me, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro. But now when I be looking back, I be like, baby, dodge that bullet.
Right. But also, like, when
I
say within myself, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, so like when I was in a phase of my life where I was like, I want to have my cake and eat it too, in a sense. Like, yes, I want to chase God, but I still want to go out and do all the things that I want to do. And it's like at some point, and it's like, oh, I'm not that bad. I go to church.
Yeah.
Or I read my Bible. And it's like, yes, you're doing great things, but like you said, contradicting it. It's like it canceling itself out.
Yeah, pretty much.
When I'm like, oh yeah, I was just out at the club Saturday standing on the couches. And now I'm trying to praise the Lord. And it's like, God saw you, girl.
Yeah.
Maybe not the people at the church, but God sees everything.
He sees
so it's
you.
like you have to, instead of being like, oh, I'm not that bad, or this situation isn't that bad, and I know they did it that time, but they probably won't do it again.
Yeah.
No,
they probably will. And the crazy thing is by the time you done had that conversation with yourself, this is probably the third time that they actually have done that. And so well, how long you gonna continue to just run through the red flags, sis?
Right. Because I think for everybody is the natural, okay, maybe not everybody, but most people it's the natural thing of when somebody make let's say a mistake the first time, not to hold it over their heads in a sense.
Yeah.
You have that conversation and you like, didn't like when you did that. But like, let's say if you didn't have that conversation and you just swept it under the rug like, okay, they did that. I'm gonna just let it go. It's not that big of a deal. But really, you up all night think about it, and they just la la la. Yeah. Not knowing that they did you wrong. So it's like trying to keep the peace in a situation where you're the only one that's not at peace.
Yeah. But do you feel like when you're going through the toxicity, that sometimes you're doing it in a sense to avoid hurting, like you're saying, like hurting someone else's feelings? So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing to push through to say this is okay for the betterment of you. Right. But what if they still just doing the same crap?
Yeah, that's where the toxic part
and
is.
That's it.
And then you're also going to start growing resentment for that person.
Yeah.
You're going to, like, it's not, like I say, situations that could have been avoided had you just said, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So like when we were having a conversation with Crystal and she was saying like the honeymoon phase in a relationship. Yes, people have honeymoon phases where it's like, oh, I just met this new person. He's so great. She's so great.
Yes.
Whatever the case may be. But nobody's perfect, even in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
They're going to do something that's like, that's an ick. He got out the car. His booty crack was showing. Sometimes people do stuff, or like we was out in public and you just did something that I for me personally would not want in my partner or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of being like, oh well, I'm trying to still get him to like me, or I don't want to push her away by like being too, what's the word, like nitpicking in a sense. But at the same time, it's like if I'm going to be building a relationship with you and you're going to be around in my space, we're going to have to learn how to
coexist and be able to speak about all the things though, and be willing to change for one another. Yeah. But I think that's where the hard part comes in, because you always the word what's the word that everyone throws out? Authentic. You want to be authentic. But it's like if you out here being fake, if really who you're out here being isn't really who you truly are, right? Because I'm pretty much going through your red flags. So that's altering exactly who I am, right? Because we out here trying to be positive in the midst of something that's chaotic. Yeah. So really, you're not showing up as your authentic self. You're showing up as someone else to get through whatever the BS is that someone else is doing. Right. And I feel like I've done that multiple times in every situation. Even when I like went to a different state, like I understood, okay, I'm in this space and I need a job and I got to get X, Y, and Z done. And then I was like, yeah, you're no longer serving me. You've done this one too many times. This job is not going to work for me. And as much as, and I'm not saying go out and quit your job. Right. Okay. The
always ask the Lord about that one.
Right. Because I'm not paying your bills. Eggs is expensive. Right. But I'm also just like, if you have your plans set and you understand that the situation that you're in, again, it doesn't just have to be a relationship, but if you're in them and they're not serving you, stop trying to put on the smile that everything is fine. Just go ahead and say, I'm not good, and this is why I'm not good. Even if it's and sometimes it is just me. Yeah. Like, things will happen, and then I'll go, but I'm okay. And it's like, but I'm like breaking down slowly but surely. I'm killing my own self.
I do that a lot because it's like, so obviously I'm not okay. I'm one of those people, my face will say it all. But I don't got to say nothing. You know I'm mad, you know I'm sad, whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's not even that I'm trying to keep the peace, I think I just don't like having those hard conversations of, like, I'm not a very confrontational person. So I feel like me expressing this, and obviously, like we said, it's going to ruffle some feathers over there on your end. I'd rather just be like, I'm just, like, that point, I guess it is just saving. Okay, maybe I'm just saying what we've been saying this whole time, because it's like I'm literally only doing it because I don't want to have the conversation. Yeah. It's not because I feel like what you did is okay, because obviously it's all over my face that whatever you did, it already done pissed me off or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, I'll just say I'm good. Because I literally don't want to have the conversation. But I also feel like that stems from having the same conversation over and over. I'm only going to say the same thing over so many times.
Yeah, but
you don't even have to be with that same person. Let's say somebody did it before you, and then you came and did it, and that was just my 13th reason, and now I'm pissed for real. Yeah, and you're having to deal with the.
So now your mask is off. Now your optimism of whatever the situation is fully off, and then what ends up happening though? Now you out here looking like the crazy lady, because it's like, well, where the hell that came from?
Nipped it in the bud with that first person.
Period.
You don't need a therapist. You need the You're Done podcast.
Because we're breaking it down for you step by step.
Because I do that a lot. And I think I mentioned before how when you're in a situation, that's why I say sometimes you're your own enemy as well. Because if you know something that's not good for you and you're continuously going after those things, and like in regards to a relationship, you'll be in a relationship and you dealt with so much in that relationship. You didn't really deal with it in a sense of like, resolving it, I guess, in a sense. So in your next relationship, you find yourself in the same situation. And at one point, it had to take me to be like, you know what? Not again. Yeah. Not on my watch.
You're done.
You're done. I'm like, and they literally one time. Yeah. I'm not giving up. Like Corey say, the slide is closed. I'm not done letting shit slide. We're not doing that.
This ain't Slitterbond
at all. It ain't. This ain't no slip and slide. This ain't none of that. So you're done, and so I had to when I did it for the first time. And obviously, I'm not just going off cutting everybody off when they make me mad. Yeah. But you have to have discernment of knowing when to let go of something and when something is worth fighting for. Yeah. Oh no, baby. Gotta go. Gotta blast.
Well, do you feel like you ever put on a mask in any situation when you feel like you're trying to make a shift? So instead of just, and again, y'all know I be having my thoughts and I be like, hopefully that come out the way I'm thinking it. But I'll just say for me, and especially in the era of like Sasha Fierce when Beyonce had the alter, so it's like, you're this person, but this is where you want to be. So then you put this mask on, right? This optimism. I'm good. I'm straight. What you doing ain't bothering me. X, Y, and Z. And then you're constantly showing up as that person. And then all of a sudden, everything just crumbles down. I sometimes have a hard time between being like, I am a positive person. I am going to look at the glass half full. To me, life happens. So why am I getting upset? I'm more of a solution-based person anyways. If you ain't coming to me with a solution, I don't understand why we having a conversation. Right. You're wasting my time. Exactly. I'm done.
And I'm also the type of person be like, we're done talking about this because we're talking in circles and we're going nowhere. I don't care to talk about this no more.
Right? And I'm a over communicator. When you talking to me about something, I'd be like, okay, no, wait. Say what you say so I can. We got to bring it full circle, right? And so sometimes I get stuck in maybe this is who I am, and then also of being like, or have I been having my mask on for so long that I can't even tell the difference between whether it's your red flag that's giving us a problem or it's my red flag because I've been out here telling myself that I'm good, that I really can't even decipher at this point which one am I protecting? Am I protecting the one that actually needs to feel the emotion, or am I protecting the girl that's like, life happens and I need to be positive and I got to keep pushing, I got to be a strong woman?
But let's say, but be for real, at the end of the day, you have to choose to want to be that positive version of yourself. Yeah. So no matter how often you have to fight, like, oh, I'm going to be positive every single day, you're always left, not saying that let's say the red side and the blue side. The blue side is the positive side and the red side is just Brittany, right? Yeah. You're choosing to be that blue side, but you're always going to be left with the red side. Yeah. So no matter how much you try to pour into this positive side, and it's just like, oh, I'm going to act like that's okay for the sake of the people around me. I have to do this and do that just to get through my day. Like, oh, I hate my job, but I'm going to put up with it because I have to, in a sense. Yeah. But really, when you leave work, you're literally the most drained that you've ever felt. Yeah. Like, I left my house feeling fine, and I leave this place, and I'm just like, why am I even here? This cannot be life for me. Yeah. Because I was going to say, even with trying to be positive and with this mask that you have to put on, especially if you have so many roles in your life, like you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a employee, you're an employer, you're all these different things, whatever your journey may have taken you. And it's like, obviously I can't go to work dwelling on something that happened in my personal life.
Yeah.
My child may not know that me and their dad is not in the best space ever, but I don't want to expose that to them. I might be, it's just like you're constantly in a fight with, when can I just be
let go.
Me? Because if you have all these titles or these roles in your life, when do you really get the chance to be like, you know what, all y'all can kick rocks,
right?
Because I'm trying to be positive, and y'all are not helping me. Because
I ain't got no more hands to pick up red flags. I think that be the deal, is that I do stand around and I'm constantly picking up red flag, and I hate to say red flags, because sometimes it's not everything is horrible. Like, for instance, with Brie and I, sometimes I'm just like, if I want to come to you and talk to you about something as simple as, I'm just feeling overwhelmed and it's not working, I don't want to hear, oh, you got this, babe. And then you just leave me with that,
Yeah.
Like, well, I know that. Like, I know I'm a strong person. Sometimes I think that's it too. Is like, we're constantly picking up the red flags, or we're constantly picking up where people left off, or we're always coming off as the strong one, that all of a sudden when you look like the weak one, then it's like people don't even know how to handle you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I cannot do any of this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then I get to a point where I don't even know how to explain what it is that I'm trying to explain, because now everything is mixing in with one another, because I want to help you. I want to be this person that's saying, okay, let's look at the glass half full, let's help. But I'm also like, well, bitch, you fit to come and help me.
Right.
And I think that gets me in like a frenzy sometimes. And most of the time I'm talking to myself, and then y'all know how that goes. You get to talking to yourself, and what happens? You play a movie by yourself in your head. You talking for the person you want to talk to. You talking back to your dang self. You talking about whoever you think they fit to come in and tell the conversation to. You have created the whole scenario, and you ain't even talked it out with the person, or really dealt with it. So sometimes I'll say for myself, if I feel like I can't discuss something with someone, I've learned now to just be like, I'm gonna give it to God, because I ain't the one or the two, and I can't do it.
You kind of know, like you say, in the sense of being the strong one and finally needing somebody to be like, to kind of like pour into your cup. It's like, I know I'm strong. I know I'm great. I know that. But right now, I'm not feeling that. I don't need you. I know that. It's
put the cup in the trash.
I don't know what you want me to do with that information. Yes. So sometimes I even find myself like knowing that I want to talk to somebody, but then I kind of like put myself in a position of like, I already know what they're going to say. Like, I already know they're just going to be like, but you're so this and that. And it's just like, thanks.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, but that did nothing for me right now.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, I appreciate your positivity right now.
But stop. Because when you came to me like this 6 months ago, I was there with you.
You had a whole intervention. Now you just telling me, you're good, you're so strong. You're such a big girl. I don't want to hear that.
No, I'm not.
And it's not that I want you to feed into my negativity, like that I'm probably feeling in that moment.
But sometimes play into my delulu for a little bit, though.
At least let me know that my feelings are valid and they're being heard. Because obviously, like, I could come to you and say I feel all the negative things. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like when I come to you with a problem, it's me saying that I'm canceling out all the positives. It's just that in this moment, I'm not able to navigate
how to get back on the positive train. Yeah.
So you just telling me that I'm good, it's not gonna make me good.
No.
That's like the stove being broken. You can do it. You just cooked pasta last night. Girl, fix it. Get under it and fix it. Whatever you're supposed to do.
Not get under the stove. Y'all know she clearly is not repairing stuff.
I don't know how to fix a stove. But I'm saying you can't just say you can do it.
Yeah.
Champ.
Because I can't, sis.
I am not the little engine that could right now.
No.
I can't.
My engine is poop poop.
Yeah. It need a jump. And I need you to help me. Like, so sometimes people don't even know how. So while you're so focused on trying to be this positive person all the time, you're just not. And it's just impossible. Yeah. But also in the sense of knowing when to have certain conversations, knowing when to let people go, knowing when that season for me is just done. I'm not getting nothing out of that.
Yeah.
This conversation, we're done. This relationship, we're done. Because I done gave you all the positivity I could.
Yeah. So have you learned when to start raising your white flag then? To say, like, we dropping all the toxic...
flag on the play. Because you fumbled. And we're done. Get them out of here.
I don't feel like I've learned to do it in every aspect of my life, but in some. Most of the time with relationships.
Maybe not all.
Yeah, relationships, yeah. I think a lot... I tell you, sometimes I'm my own therapist. Sometimes I'm the red flag.
Oh, yeah.
Because I put so much on myself that I'm constantly like, you're good.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. You can do all the things. Right? That, because there's the thing of being like, you can make your to-do list, but then write out your top 3 things that you're supposed to do. That's what they tell you to do. You can have a list of 50 things you want to get done. Mm-hmm. But put your top 3, and as long as you get the top 3 done, you're good. If you get anything else done on that list, that's just some bonus stuff. But for me, baby, I saw the top 3, but I also saw the other 50.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's 10 o'clock at night, but we got to get it done. Let's iron the girls' clothes. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's just like... But you cannot. Yeah. And sometimes I'm up and I'm constantly like, I got to get this done. I got to do this. If I take care of this, then everybody else in my house has a great week. If I call my sister, then, then I feel like I was a great sister because I called and asked her how she was doing. It's just like when I feel like I've dropped the ball somewhere, then I'm constantly just like, what the heck? So I feel like in this toxic positivity combo, I may be the flag.
But no, and not to say that all red, maybe not all red flags are considered bad, because that's not something bad. Yeah. Obviously, it takes away from some area in your life, but it's not a horrible thing. But it made me think of when you said in season 1 how somebody would do something, you'll be like, okay, I'm done with that, and it's like they never existed almost. Yeah. But now you're being put in a position where it's like, I can't just say, oh, forget my kids. I can't just say, so now have all those things that you ran from earlier in your life, you're literally having to face, and you have to find a balance with it. Whereas for me, my first half of my life, I was so much focused on pouring into other people that I'm like, oh no, I ain't got nothing to give you, my boy. You better go find it somewhere else. So we're literally switched. Yeah. Because I would literally be in a relationship thinking I can fix them. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like, some people say if I want something from somebody else, maybe if they see me doing it, they'll follow suit. So if I'm in a relationship with somebody and it's like, I want you to be a little bit more patient. If they see me trying to be patient with them, maybe they'll reciprocate it back to me. But that's not always the case. So once I start realizing no matter how hard I work, I can't be positive for me and them. They have to want their positive parts of their life for themselves. Yeah. And I can't make them want it. Yeah. So after I realized that, I done told you what to do. I can bring you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. Ooh. So if you're not gonna drink it, hand it here, because the person over there thirsty. We gonna move on, because I ain't got time. And you're playing. So I feel like I poured so much into other people that now I do have that discernment of being like, yeah, I'm done. I have no more to pour into you. Whereas for you, you're in a situation where it's like, yeah, I have to do this. Like, this is what I'm called to do. And you are, like, you're a mom, you're a wife. These are things you have to do. But at the same time, you have to find a balance of being like I said, the red and the blue. That Brittany, before all of that, is still somewhere within you. So you have to pour into her just as much as you pour into everybody else.
Snap, people.
I'm really going to start charging y'all.
I'm the co-host. I identified that I was the problem. I got myself halfway there.
But yes, the toxic positivity. It's just like you can only be so positive for so long to where you burn yourself out. Yeah.
And I feel like I've done that quite a bit.
Because every positive has a negative to it. Every negative has a positive to it.
Okay, math teacher.
Hey. Hey, 2 negatives make a positive. I don't know how that works, but that's just what it is. So it's just math. I guess that is my Miss McCoy. Oh, well.
Miss Holmes. Listen, Brianna's made me write my name multiple times when we first got together. He was like, you got to write your name. Even before we were married, he was like, just write your name. And I'm like,
okay, and this is off topic, but it is hard. And then at one time, I'm like, I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to say my name is Destiny Holmes. And they said, your account, that ain't coming up. I said, okay, it's just Destiny. My bad, too soon. My bad.
Sis, the government don't know yet.
Yeah, they said, who is that?
Right? Because you done got a name change. Fraud.
I know. They gonna come looking for me.
She's about to get all her stuff cut off that day.
I'm getting the change, y'all. And I got an appointment. But
I feel like my hair is just sitting on top of my head all crazy. Anyways.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm just hot.
I can't wait to wear I'm sick of the bun. Anyway. But yes. So yes, the positivity that you pour into everybody else, you always have to remember to give that to yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because you will literally burn yourself out. So like, it's also to be, that also goes into another topic I feel like we covered of the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
I have to be comfortable enough with the people in my circle or in my everyday life, whatever the case may be, to be like, I'm not there today. Mm-hmm. So, every nigga for themselves. Because I have to pour into Destiny. I cannot pour into your cup if it ain't half full. It's empty. It's half empty.
Yeah.
It is. And I ain't got nothing to give. So, like, even with work, like, I'm so grateful to have coworkers where it's like, can you teach my last class for me? Because if I do it, I'm going to jail. You know? I just cannot right now. Yeah. Them kids have ran me through the mud, the ground, all of that. I'm sick of it. So even outside of home, like, yes, I have a partner where I can be like, I just need a few minutes to myself. Yeah. I love you so much, but you're yapping and I don't feel like talking.
I can't process it.
Yeah, I'm not there right now. And then you'll be like, okay. Yeah. And not make it seem like I'm being mean or, like I'm just saying F you. Yeah. But yeah.
Which is how I feel like I'm being. Yeah. But if I take a break, I feel like I'm leaving something behind, or pretty much I'm saying F you to someone, or I'm feeling like I'm not being, like you say, a great mom, a great wife. And I think half of my, and like we said, like Destiny said, the red flag doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but I feel like when you become a mom, you wear all the hats, right? Mm-hmm. And at some point, the hats merge into one, and really, they can't, because Brittany, baby, what I'm not about to be out here doing is doing whatever them kids want me to do. I don't want to play with no Play-Doh or make no slime.
And I'm tired of playing hide and seek, Breland.
That part.
Because you go hide and I ain't going to come find you till tomorrow.
That part. And so, but because I don't separate the hats, I've left myself in this constant state of, then I'm just feeling guilty about everything because I'm like, well, this isn't going to play out well. And I think I have done it a little bit because I run my own business with Be More Fit. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes my sister's at school with her laptop and she's like, hey, X, Y, and Z for the You're Done podcast. Did we get this? And I'd be like, I don't have a hat on right now. I got to finish the content for this, Yeah. And so I'm having to now be like, I'm a whole business owner out here. Like, I got two. We got two whole businesses. Mm-hmm. And how do I navigate both to make sure both are just as successful, as anything else I got going on in my life? I don't want it to be because Be More Fit has been here longer that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm running this. Yeah. But then on the You're Done podcast, it's like, right? The content sucks, sis. Yeah. So I feel like I have had to take my time, and I think I'm still working on figuring out what that balance is. So when we talk about being just optimistic, like, it's not just being optimistic because I have to, but truly feeling like I'm okay and I'm good and I can voice those things. And I think Destiny does a great job of letting me know. Like, she'll just text me and be like, we're a partner. I haven't done this either. Right. And I'd be like,
we're a team.
Oh, I was stressing.
You do this, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
Especially because like the past month and a half, it's been a lot going on. Y'all had stuff going on that I had no idea about.
Baby, I was a whole florist.
But it's just like, like I'm just trying to find, like you say, finding that balance, because sometimes it does get very, very, very overwhelming. And then I have to literally remind myself. I had a conversation with Corey about like when I did my Bible study this morning, and how God doesn't call the equipped people that can do it. He equips the people that he calls. Yeah. So no matter how you feel, how much you feel like your cup is half empty or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Like you said, because you've made posts about it before. Yeah. Like on my morning routine, I wake up before my kids. I do this, I do that. I make sure I pour into Brittany, because I know I cannot be the wife, the mom, the this, the that if I don't do that. So it's not like you said, we said earlier, when you're sad and somebody's like, but you're so great. You know those things about yourself, but sometimes you just have to be reminded of it. So that's what me and Corey was talking about this morning. Like, you sometimes may feel like I have nothing else to give, but if you seek him, obviously, that's where your strength, your source of strength is going to come from. Yeah. And then also with that, it's just like, sometimes, like you said, I can't go to Brittany and be like, oh the little sister, I need a big sister to fix my problems. She can't fix everything. Yeah. So I have to trying. That's half my problem. But you have to have that source of, like, basically a relationship with God that's going to help you build yourself back up when you feel like you're breaking down. Yeah. Because you can be this most positive girl with all the affirmations in the world. You're posting all the quotes on Instagram. You're doing all the things. Right. And the thing is, sometimes I am that person where it's like, I could be breaking down. You can come to me saying that you're sad. I give you the best advice in the world, and I go back home and I'm still sad. After I just poured so much into you. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, girl, take your own advice. But at the end of the day, it's like sometimes we do need a reminder of all the greatness that we already have within us.
So I think it goes back to surround yourself with people that you feel like is your safe space.
And cut off the ones that's not.
Right. So then when you realize that you're going through those moments.
What is happening with this blanket? Oh,
listen.
It ain't open. Hey, y'all.
As many times as y'all done seen her with this dang on blanket, she should know how to fully operate the blanket.
My bad. But yeah, what was you saying?
Get it together. She done made me lose my whole thought process. And I don't know, I think I need to take a little gummy or something for my memory bank, because the girl's memory be all over the place. But I do just feel like most of the time is surrounding yourself with people that when you're having those low moments, when you feel like you're just picking one red flag up after another and telling yourself that you're okay, that you can just go to them and just say, here, can you hold the red flags for a little bit? Hey, can you hold this because it's wearing on me? And not for them to hold it to be like, give it back to me. I'm going to put it on my big back and keep trucking. No, I need you to go dispose of it, because clearly I haven't been able to take it off and then throw it in the trash and then leave it in the trash. Because I think sometimes we do take it off, and then for whatever reasons, you act like you put it in a goddamn recycling bin and you decided to turn it into something else, but it's the exact same problem. Right. You're just starting it a whole nother way. And then you're wondering why am I going through the same thing? Why do I feel the same way after, weeks of telling myself I'm okay, but then I end up not being okay? All right, sis, we doing the same thing, just packaged up differently. Yeah. So when you get rid of it, and this is also a reminder too, that like you say, my kids aren't going anywhere. So I'm going to get overwhelmed again. But instead of saying, dang, I'm going through this again and I'm getting overwhelmed, maybe I should just say, well, clearly there's going to be weeks or a month or so where I get like this. What did I do the last time before, And I think sometimes I forget what I did, or by the time I remember, I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing left in me. I need an IV. Right. I need, you need to pick me up.
Come around, them hormones get the hormone. I say every month, I might spaz out on somebody, and then my period come a few days later. I'm like, ooh, that's what that was about. I'm not going to do that next month. Next month come around, I'm spazzing out. I say, girl, you just said. So sometimes you don't have the answers to everything, and you might spaz out. You might not be the positive poly.
All right? I don't know if it's Polly or Peggy, but it's one of them.
But sometimes you have to know, because I know, so now you know your cycle is going to come. You need to be like, ooh, maybe I need to distance myself just a little bit, because I ain't trying to spaz out on nobody. Because please don't be that person of just blaming your period on everything. Yes, I know it is a thing. I am a woman. I experience it every month. But you have to, like, instead of knowing, like, okay, I know these problems are going to keep reoccurring. Let me find a way to fix the root of the problem. Because clearly, in my cycle, I'm the problem. What they did probably wouldn't have irritated me as much 2 weeks ago. I was just ovulating.
Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and send you the Flow app so you know when not to call her.
Right, exactly. So it's just knowing when to literally, you can't fix anything from the surface, or you literally have to fix the root of the problem. Getting rid of stuff whenever you feel like something is bothering you and it's not going to pour into you in the way that you need it to, you have to be strong enough to have those conversations and being like, that's not going to work for me when you did this and this and that. How are we going to figure this out? Because obviously it's not always somebody else that's just the full problem, which is why I say always seek within first, of being like, what can I do to help the situation as well? I could feel like I'm being the most positive person ever. And really, that person was just like, "Oh, I didn't get into that.
Didn't catch it.
Catch it at all." Meanwhile, I'm thinking I'm being the nicest person they ever met. So you have to have the calls. Don't be like me and avoid the conversations. Have the conversations, because those are what's going to help build positive relationships. Or if not, you're gonna continuously find yourself in toxic positivity.
Snap. So what you done with?
I guess I'm done with. I don't know.
You need to come back to. She spoke so much on it. I felt like, dang, I don't know if you have anything different necessarily to say. But I'll go ahead. I feel like what I'm done with is feeling like I'm two separate people. Like you were saying, like, I'm still Brittany. I choose to be positive, and that's just a part of me. But that doesn't mean that I just keep filling up one cup and then eventually one gets depleted, and it's just like, well, I gotta stop being and it doesn't mean I'm stop being positive. It just means like, okay, I just need to shift my priority. I need to shift my top 3 on my to-do list, for this week. So stop looking at the year and sometimes just be like, what we gonna get done in these next 24 hours? What does today look like? My kid got a doctor's appointment, so maybe I do work out earlier.
Don't be worried about tomorrow.
Right.
Like, tomorrow has enough worries and troubles
to be, to be good. Yeah, so I feel like I'm just done with feeling like I have to separate everything.
Yeah.
And just realizing like I am the same person, and now I just need to balance out what it is that I need, depending on where I am in that moment. I should not be the same Brittany every single day.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
And so with that being said, I feel like I can be done with being so hard on myself of like, oh, okay, I wasn't as positive as I would have liked to be yesterday. So sometimes I get so hard on myself, and I just like, I'm just ready for the whole week to be over. Yeah. I need to learn how to, like I just said, taking it one day at a time, of being like, okay, today was a bad day. Right. Or even right now was just a bad moment. I still have time to do a little bit of something good, So sometimes I get so hard on myself where I feel like, you know what, you effed up, Destiny. You just can't do nothing right. I literally, one little thing, and it's like my whole world is just upside down. So I am done with allowing the small things to dictate what could still be a positive day. Yeah. Because I would literally be like, you know what, never mind. I don't care no more.
Because a bad day could still be a good day.
Exactly.
I don't know where I heard that from. So I'm pretty sure it's a quote, though.
So yeah, just learning to be like really, obviously you're going to have your moments, but not allowing the bad moments to really just be like, that's who you are. Because that's not who I am. I have bad moments. Yeah. I'm going to have bad days. It is what it is. That's life. Yeah. But knowing that even with the bad things going on, that I can still find positive within that. Yeah. Because I just be getting hard down on myself. Like, girl, just calm down. Right. It ain't that deep.
Have a sip of tea.
Right. Calm down.
Yes, while she talking about cycles, that's exactly what's going on. So, tea in our cups today.
Well, that's what's going on with her. I'm fine.
Oh. Good thing, because you probably been going off on us.
Shut up. But I will say, even with the podcast and us being able to have these conversations, it really does help. Yeah. Like, I really, sometimes like I say, I feel like I'm just this person that I don't have it figured out. I don't have this, I have that. But then I sit down in front of this "you're done" sign and then this camera with my sister, and it's just like, so, that was the answer to my problem that I probably had last week. And obviously, it's not to say that we just have all the answers, but like what I said, when you dig within, you have it within you.
Yeah.
And this, when I sit here in this podcast and talk with my sister, it literally just comes out.
Yeah, it shines light on a lot of things. Because I definitely, when we started this conversation today, I definitely was like, oh, this is about relationship, because old dude that I used to mess with before I got married, right, gave me all the red flags, and it's just like, no, it's really not even about an old relationship, because baby, we out of that, married, moved on, because he's done. This is this topic really was for me to dive into being like, all right, Brittany, these are what we are considering to be my red flags, which we have now discovered aren't my red flags, but I'm still living in a toxic positivity of how I'm moving through the situations that I go through on the day-to-day. Like you say, my kids are still here, things like that. So yeah, the conversations definitely do help, especially when we always want to look at the outside on things or put it on someone else and then say, this is how I left that person and moved on. Right. But sometimes even when you move on, if you really haven't dealt with it or figured out what caused that situation to begin with, you can go into a whole nother situation and be the exact same way. So I do feel like talking through things and having the conversations, they definitely do help. And sometimes these and we come with the titles. We don't just get up here and just be like, yeah, let's just start talking about what's on our brains today. Right. So, but I do like that sometimes we assume that the conversation is going to go one way, and then we realize like, dang, this was way deeper or way more of something that I actually needed than what I thought it was. Exactly. So
way deeper than that past relationship from a few years ago. Yeah. It goes deeper than that. Yeah. So you have to learn how to be. See what I'm saying?
She's trying to create some positive. She's trying to create some toxic positivity.
Because you see us in here recording.
And you see us in here trying to smile at y'all, and she is talking to me about something she wasted on her shirt. Go sit down. Okay, I'll change it. You don't have to cry.
See?
She was supposed to be coloring, and she got crayon on her shirt.
Breland needs to learn. At one small moment of her life.
She needs to be in here.
She can still have a good day.
Because she letting the crayon kick her butt.
Yeah, crayon 1, Breland 0. Because she was crying.
Let me go help my girl.
But yes, that is the topic for today. So just remembering you can be positive, and also even in the most positive situations, there can also be some negative. Yeah. But just do what you can, okay? And get rid of them people that's the toxic part. You can't have the toxic and the pick one. You either want the toxic or you want the positivity. So the choice is yours.
Right. And that's another episode of Your Dumb Podcast. Thanks for tuning in and conversating with us today. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us what y'all done with. We be wanting to know.
Because we not, who y'all think we talking to when we say, what are you done with? You that's watching. I'm talking to you.
You see me? Right? I see you.
You see me, see you. You need to respond. Yeah.
Twitter fingers. We appreciate it.
Come on now. We're talking to y'all. We need y'all to talk back. And also, if there's any topics that y'all feel like we could cover. Yeah. Hello. Please share. We can sit here and talk all day, but we will also obviously love to talk about something that you will actually benefit from. I'm not saying that you're not benefiting from these, but something that for your own personal life, what is it that you're done with? What is it that you probably need a little bit more insight on?
Yeah, because we've probably all been through it. So if it's something we've been through, and we can let y'all know how we ended up being done with that situation, or how we're working towards being done with that situation, like we want to know what that is so we can share it with y'all. So yeah. Please like, do all the things.
Lord, I can't even say it. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will see y'all at the same time next week. Peace.
All right, you ready?
I'm done with y'all. Now commenting.
Now pause and do it again.
Oh.